as like a learning as you go and you'll catch on. How this is going to work is that after each applicant presents their presentation materials, I will first go to members of the public for any comments or questions on these applications, and then I will go to fellow board members. Any action at this committee will go to a full board vote, which is happening next week, and you can find out the details on our website by going to cb8.org. Let's please address any comments that you have to myself or my co-chair if he arise, and I'd like to avoid any crosstalk between applicants and the people themselves. Let's please also observe the norms of decorum because we are all here to get a communal outcome, even sometimes when we see things differently. I'd also like to remind the community members as well as board members to try to be succinct in your comments and keep them to the merits of these individual applications as they come up. For the board members, please make sure that you're following along by having all the application materials open and in front of you as we consider each entity. Please also be at the ready to make motions and to approve and disapprove, as well as call the question. For our applicants, please tell us your location, your hours of operation, if this is the first time that you're applying for a sidewalk cafe, any changes from your setup from the last time you had outdoor dining in place, any complaints your business has faced with roadway or sidewalk dining, and what you've done to remedy these complaints. And importantly, this meeting will go faster if you say, we will comply with all the rules and regulations from the NYC Department of Transportation. I also want to remind all of our applicants to please take down your postings in the areas that you put them up after the full board meeting, which is happening next Wednesday. Now I'm going to turn things over to Jordan to give us the technical rules of the road for this meeting.
Lindsay, welcome. If this is your first time joining us virtually, you will notice that you are currently muted, and everyone will remain muted throughout the meeting except for the committee co-chairs, Lindsay and Abraham, and any presenters as we move through the agenda. Following the presentations, the co-chairs will call on members of the public wishing to speak. You can participate by pressing the raise hand button on the bottom of your screen, not the wave or thumbs up, as those will disappear. Only press it once. If you press it a second time, your hand will go back down. If you're calling in on the phone, it is *+9 to raise your hand and *+6 to unmute. Be on the lookout for a prompt asking you to confirm unmuting once the co-chairs call on you. The chat is available for technical support only to help with Zoom software problems, not to ask questions of the co-chairs. They will not see the chats. If you're using an older version of Zoom, you may need to find the React menu, Participants menu, or button that says More, where you will find the raise hand feature in one of those. If you plan to speak during the meeting, it would help us if you would rename your device with your full first and last name. Please do not raise your actual hand or wave at the screen because we may not be able to see you. Chat me in here for support.
Thank you, Jordan. And in doing like a call on who's here, I see that it's myself, Judy Schneider, Marco Tamayo, and Robin Seligson to get us started. All right, first up, we have applications to the State Liquor Authority for liquor licenses, and our first applicant is for a 30-day waiver from Wine Corp doing business as NA at 1505 3rd Avenue. Do we have a representative from this business here?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. Please tell us a little bit about your application.
So the application is for a renewal of the liquor license. I do want to emphasize that we were trying to downgrade from full liquor to only wine and beer, and our liquor license lawyer suggested to just do a regular renewal and then downgrade if we get approved. So eventually we're going to downgrade. That's the plan. We're located at 1505 3rd Avenue. The name of the company is 85 Wine Corp. We're doing business as Giacomo's Pizza and Restaurant, located at the corner of 3rd Avenue and 85th Street. The hours of operation are 11 in the morning till 12 a.m., except for Friday and Saturday, when we open until 3 in the morning. We're planning to comply with all the regulations from the Department of Transportation, and I'm not sure if you need any more information.
Thank you. That should probably be sufficient. Let me see, is there anyone from the public who has comments or questions for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Thank you, Lindsay. Motion to approve as presented.
And then I see Judy seconding that. Okay. Robin, would you like to call the question, perhaps?
Yes, call the question, please.
Great, thank you. All right, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to go down as a 4-0 approval. All right, thank you, Mr. Estrada.
Thank you.
All right, our next applicant is Arancini LLC, and this is for new applications to the New York State Liquor Authority for liquor licenses. Do we have a representative from this business here?
Yes, I'm here, Kathleen Stathopoulos, the attorney for the applicant.
Hi,
Good evening, everybody. Okay, this is Arancini LLC, doing business as La Piovra, 145 East 61st Street between Lexington and 3rd. We're seeking a full liquor license. There was a full liquor license there previously under Gina Mexicana. This is 44 seats inside with 13 bar stools. The hours of operation are 11:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Background music only. There are no accordion or open doors. There is a backyard. They're planning on enclosing a portion of that backyard so that it would be unenclosed. So it would be completely enclosed, and then they would be using a portion of the backyard that would be unenclosed as well. They are filing for permits with the Department of Buildings for this. This will not be completed until, of course, the permits and the C of O are approved. There's no outdoor, there's no sidewalk cafe at this time.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone from the public that has questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Judy.
Hi, Kathleen. I have two questions. One, can you tell me what was there before?
Yes, it was Gina Mexicana. I actually represented them. Paula Pedregano was the owner of that, and she had a lot of Ginas all over the neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does this have anything to do with SA Hospitality?
No, I don't know what that is.
Have my items mixed up. So
Okay.
forget it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to Miles.
Motion to approve is presented and then request to speak.
Okay, it looks like Judy seconded that. Yes, Miles?
With the backyard and the music being played, have you gotten any complaints from neighbors from playing music in the backyard?
Well, this is a new establishment, so they have not. I believe the former restaurant there, Gina Mexicana, did. And I think there was an issue with the fact that she had a backyard. I'm just remembering this from the past because I said I did represent her. I think she had an issue with a neighbor in the building and the backyard cafe not being permitted. So in other words, it wasn't part of a C of O, and that was an issue. So that's why he's not going to be doing anything with the backyard until it's permitted by the Department of Buildings.
So there's going to be no music in the backyard until then.
No, there won't be music in the backyard anyway. He's not going to
Okay.
play outdoor music there. They'll just be seating in the backyard.
Thank you.
Okay, let's recognize Marco.
Call the question.
Okay, and Judy's going to second that. So this is a motion to approve, and I now understand that we have Miles and Todd Stein in here. Is there anyone else that I'm missing, Jordan?
Not that I see, just Miles and Todd.
Okay, great. So this is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be abstaining or voting no, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 6-0 approval. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Have a great evening.
You too. Let's now move on to Felice 3rd Avenue. Do we have a representative from this business doing here?
Yes, our attorney is on, and this is Greg Giannoni from SA Hospitality Felice. Hi, Judy.
Do you need to have your attorney unmuted so they can do the presentation, or are you doing the presentation?
She's supposed to be doing the presentation, and I'm not with her, so.
Okay.
What's the
Jordan.
what's the name of your attorney?
Tracy.
Oh, Tracy Kaj Denton. It looks like she's got a blue background and I can see her hand up now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello?
We can hear you whenever you're ready.
Oh, you can? Okay, great. Sorry, I thought I just lost the screen. My name is Tracy K. Denton, looks like Keach Denton, with the law firm of Weinberg Zara, Malkin Price, LLP. I'm joined by Greg Giannone, who you just heard, and my colleague Kathy Murphy. This is for a new full on-premise license application for Felice 3rd Avenue LLC. It'll be located at 1048 3rd Avenue, which is the southeast corner of East 62nd Street. It will be a fine dining Italian restaurant and wine bar. It'll be open from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day and serve all meals, including breakfast. Felice has several locations in the city. They've been in business for several years and they have a clean record with no material complaints. The previous business at this address was Upper East Cafe. I believe that was the name, which also had a full on-premise license. Thank you for your time. We welcome any questions.
Okay, is there anyone from the public that has comments or questions for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Miles.
Motion to approve is presented.
Let's first see Judy because I know she had a question for this group.
Yes, I thought they were going to be the second item, so I was confused. Okay, well, the presenter answered all my questions, what was there before. I didn't get the location. Now I know what it is. I just want to say they also have a restaurant at 1st and 64th, and they're a real plus to the neighborhood. It's good dining, the food is good, the service is good, and it's a real plus for the neighborhood. So I'm surprised they were opening another one so close by, but I'm sure they'll do very well, and I would urge everyone to support it.
Thank you for the kind words, Judy.
Yes, thank you.
Let's recognize Marco.
I think Robin, I think she may gonna say something because I was planning to call the question and I don't want to call the question.
Then let's yield it.
Unless-
Yeah, thank you. We'll let Robin do the question, ask, and then go back to you. Robin?
Thanks very much, Marco. Tracy, is this a chain?
Well, SA Hospitality, which owns or is part owner in Felice, has other locations named Felice and also Sant Ambrose in CB8 as well as throughout the city. So it's not a national chain or anything like that, but it does have other locations.
How many?
We're not considered a chain, and there's certain rules like for calories when you have to put calories on a menu. We haven't reached that threshold yet.
So how many other similar enterprises do they have?
How many Felices or Sant Ambroses?
Well, Felice's.
We have 83rd and 1st. We have one on 56 between 5th and 6th. We have one down at Gold Street. We have one down on Hudson Street. We have one in Montague in Brooklyn. We have one on Long Island in Roslyn, and we have some in Florida.
So this would be number 7 in.
And and we just opened one last March in Portchester.
Okay, so this would be, I ticked it off quickly. This would be about number 7 in the 5 boroughs?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't add them. I know them, I didn't add them.
Thank you, I'm done.
Okay. Let's go back to Marco.
Thank you. Call the question.
All right, we've got support for that. This is a motion to approve. We are still sitting at 6 board members here. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to go down as a 6-0 approval. All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to our next applicant, which is Avaseca doing businesses pending at 450 East 81st Street.
Yes, my name is Denis Karafazli. The address is 450 East 81st Street. It's on 81st between York and 1st Avenues, right off York Ave. It is a small Italian wine bar. We are gonna have like 8 to 9 tables in total. Hours of operation will be 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. And we will comply with all the rules and regulations with the New York City Department of Transportation.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone from the public have questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Uh, I think I live very close by, and I know that the place has been very unsuccessful with other kind of business. And my concern is when you try to make just only for wine and beer, it
Mhm.
means to change the character of the neighborhood. And do you have the certificate of occupancy to use as a commercial space?
Uh,
Valera or no objection?
we like the building doesn't have the certificate of occupancy at the moment, but we applied for a letter of no objection, and we also sent the application. So we are waiting to receive a letter of no objection from the city.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's recognize Miles.
If Judy has a question, she should go first. 'Cause I'm
Okay, let's go to Judy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I missed this. You're not planning on serving any food? I thought you had, the law is you have to serve food even at a bar.
Yeah, we have a kitchen, small kitchen. We will be serving small plates and some pasta. Pasta is gonna be, called like wine and pasta bar.
Okay, but you will be serving some food.
Yeah,
Okay,
we will be serving food. Yeah, definitely.
okay. I'm finished.
All right, let's go to Miles.
motion to approve is presented.
Okay, we've got seconds. So would someone like to call a question there? Yes, all right. So this is a motion to approve, and I know that Evan Myerson has joined us. Evan, if you feel comfortable voting for this one, please let me know. And then if anyone else wants to abstain or vote no, please let me know, because otherwise this is going to go down as a 7-0 approval. All right. Thank you very much. Let's go to our next item of business, Make Thai doing business as Grata Thai. Do we have a representative from this business here?
So this is one of the ones that wasn't able to or didn't respond to the initial invitation or the follow-ups. I actually spoke to the representative a little bit ago who called me and let me know that he wasn't included in the emails sent to him. Since this is a new application, he requested to be laid over to December.
Okay, so I think that's going to take a motion to table this from someone here. Would someone from the board like to offer that? Miles?
Motion to table.
Okay, and we have seconds for that, and we'll call the question there. All right. So this is a motion to table. Let me just change this in the minutes. If anyone's going to be voting no against this motion or abstaining, please let me know, because otherwise this will go down as a 7-0 approval to table this, and we will probably see them next month. Okay. Then let's move on to the next applicant, Akura Ramen and Sushi, doing business as Poke Fresh. Do we have a representative from this business here?
This one was also non-responsive to the invitation and to the follow-ups. I haven't been able to get into any correspondence with any representative or owner on this, but this is also a new application, so they don't have a deadline.
Okay, so then I think I'd entertain the same sort of motion, Judy. All right, and so Judy's making a motion to table it. It looks like Miles is probably seconding that, and Marco's gonna call the question. All right. So it seems like the action is gonna be dispense of this in a similar way. This is a motion to table. If anyone is going to be voting no or abstaining on that, please let me know. All right, this will go down as a 7-0 for that action. Okay, now we're moving on to change applications for liquor licenses, and the next applicant we have is Serafina 79th Corner. Do we have a representative from that business here?
Hi, yes, good evening. My name is Camille Evangelista, and I'm here representing Serafina 79th, doing business as Tokugawa. This is between 78th and 79th. They went before this committee in July for the sidewalk seating, and it's approximately 275 square feet, about 17 tables and 34 chairs. So this is just the second process to add it to the liquor license.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions from the public or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Miles.
Motion to approve as presented.
All right, and it looks like Judy's seconding that. Marco?
Call the question.
Okay, great. So this is a motion to approve the extension of this liquor license out into the service area. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 7-0 approval. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Let's go to our next order of business, which is Sophia's 61st. Oh, is this, you're also doing this one? Okay,
Yep.
please tell us about it.
Same. So this was also the same meeting in July, also a sidewalk, except this one is a smaller space, only about 22 square feet and right in front of the licensed premise, about 3 tables, 6 chairs. Stipulations, I sent them to Jordan today, signed and notarized as previously done. And same SLA process to add this onto the premises.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone from the public that has questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
I have a question. How many bathrooms do you have? And if the public, or if your customer can use your bathroom?
For this one, I believe there's 2 restrooms on the second floor.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Judy?
Yeah, I didn't get the name and address of this restaurant.
Oh, apologies. Yes, this is Sophia 61st, so Serafina, always between address 33 East 61st Street.
Ah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and you're applying for?
Yeah. This is the SLA municipal alteration to add the sidewalk seating that was approved by DOT onto the
And
license.
how many tables and chairs are you putting out there? That's a
only-
little, that's a very busy street.
Yeah, so that's why it's only just a few chairs in front. I believe 3 tables only, and then 6 chairs, which is the
So they'll be right up next to the building.
yeah.
And are there any, it seems to me, walking that block, are there any plates in the, cellar doors that open in that area?
Not for this one. I believe it's next door to
Okay.
it, so it
Okay, I
doesn't.
wasn't quite sure. I didn't
Mhm.
remember. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
No problem.
Right. Is there anyone else from the board who would like to perhaps make a motion? Let's go to Marco.
Lindsay, I already spoke. Miles, he can call the question. Thank you.
Okay, Miles, you're going to make a motion to approve, is what I got?
Yes, motion to approve as presented.
Okay, Judy's seconding it. Others are going to call the question. All right, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 7-0 approval. All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to our next applicant, which is Green 84 LLC. Oh, hello, Mr. Kelly. Show us how it's done.
Okay, so this is a liquor license alteration for Green 84 LLC. I think Bobby was there last month, so there was a problem with some bikes and the cellar door being open. The owner said the cellar door is pretty much closed all the time now. He had it open during the summer for ventilation. We now store some of the bikes that the cooks drive to work in the basement. We don't store the electric ones there because of the fire hazard. And the cooks have been, and the workers have been advised not to chain their bikes to the tree pits by the restaurant.
All right, is there anyone from the public that has questions or comments for this applicant? Let's recognize Linda Lang.
I was
Linda?
here, I was on mute, I'm okay now.
Perfect.
I was at the last meeting about this, and for the first couple of weeks after the meeting, things really did get better, and they went right back to the way they have been. There are still bikes chained, there are still you still can't get through on 84th Street because the 3 feet that's supposed to be there, according to the Americans with Disability Act, does not happen. People pull their chairs out, there are strollers there, there are wait staff going back and forth, diners going back and forth. It's really impossible to get through. And, to tell me that the bikes are no longer there, I have photographs showing they are.
Mr. Kelly, do you want to respond?
Yes, so the owner has informed all his people not to chain their bikes to that tree guard or in front of the restaurant, which he believes they've been complying. There are other people that may chain their bikes there. I can have him talk to his wait staff about stopping people from doing that, anyone that has nothing to do with the restaurant or people that have anything to do. And we do have an open area where there's no tables that I could talk to him about people with strollers to keep the strollers there.
I understand that this committee is not a law enforcement agency, but when things look good on paper, in reality, they aren't. There is no way that there is 3 feet of continuous unobstructed passage through that area. None at all. And as I said, they tried cleaning it up and did a good job for a couple of weeks, and it went right back to status quo. And quite honestly, I'm very upset about it because I can't get through there with my walker.
Can I make a suggestion, Ms. Lang?
You can
Could
make
you
it.
call the community board office and ask them for my phone number and email? And if this persists, can you give me a call? And I will call the owner right away. Until
I
this
will,
is
but it
figured out.
doesn't seem to make any difference.
Well, it will if he's doing it and I call, because I do a lot of different work for him.
Then I'm going to suggest that this be postponed again.
Okay, let's go to Judy.
Yeah, Lindsay, I say this for everybody who's going to present. Can everybody please say the name of the restaurant and the address when they make their presentation? I did not get that, Mr. Kelly.
It's the Green Kitchen at 1619 2nd Avenue, East 84th
Okay.
Street.
Yeah, got it now.
Thank you. Let's go to Marco.
Thank you. And Mr. Kelly, thank you for your good intentions. We had to understand in this case, Mr. Kelly is just only an expediter and he does his best. He's going to ask his boss to enforce something that he's supposed to do it. But I don't think that we may have a good outcome of all of that. And that's my major concern right here. Because, yeah, I believe what Mr. Kelly said. But one thing is what he said to us, and another thing is what happened in that area. The Green Kitchen has some traditional complaints. First of all, in the time of COVID, it was the only place that has been serving liquor outside of the place. So it's consistent. He's unwilling to collaborate with us, and it's not Mr. Kelly, it's the owner. And I think it's the children, not even the parents were an excellent people in our community, and they has been helping us, and we are very happy with this place. But the children took possession of that and started exactly in the same location, and I think that made me concerned a lot because we talked last week. We tried to find out something, but he's going back. He doesn't care. And I'm going to say no in this application. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Miles.
I thank you. I'm not entirely sure how it may work, but I was wondering if we could maybe get the photos that Miss Lang took of what she is describing here. I think that could be really valuable, at least for me. I don't know if that'd be possible or not, but I think that could be important.
Well, Miss Lang, if you have these photos and you want to send them over to Jordan right now, we could take a minute and wait for her to receive those and then share them.
Linda, I can share with you my email in the chat, if that works for you.
Yes, let me just grab my phone.
Okay, so then I think the move here would be instead of making a motion or trying to wrap this piece of business up, let's see what Judy has to say. Wait for those photos and then we'll move on to the next piece and come back to this later in the evening.
Well,
Judy?
okay, I was just going to say postpone it or table it for a month and let's see if it gets any better.
Okay, let's let these photos come through since that process has
Okay.
already started, and then we'll come back to this.
And I'm going to leave you. My niece just called me from London. I'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, so we'll take Judy out of the voting set for now. Let's move on to we're now moving on to applications for sidewalk cafes. We don't have any roadway cafes tonight. We have just sidewalk cafes. Do we have the applicant from 1744 Rest Inc. doing business as the office here?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, will you give us your presentation?
Yeah, sorry, I don't think my video is working properly, but it's for the office public house at 1744 Second Avenue. The information here is wrong. It says 6 tables and 18 chairs. It's supposed to be 6 tables and 12 chairs.
Okay.
And that's for a sidewalk cafe. It's gone through the Department of Transportation. There's 10 feet of clearance to the edge of the sidewalk, and it's just a small little cafe out the front.
Okay, and did you have a setup like this during the COVID-19 time?
We only opened up a year and a half ago, so.
Okay, great. So then there's no alteration from that. Does anyone from the public have questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Thank you. He didn't mention that he's going to obey the rules and regulations of DOT. I think it's extremely important. You mentioned already, and I would like to hear from them if he's going to comply or not. But
Yes,
since
of
I
course.
spoke, I'm not going to put any motions. Thank you.
Yes, of course, we're going to, like, all the DOT regulations. I've sent everything over to them. They've accepted everything, and we are complying as we have to.
Okay, and that's just reiterate for everyone else who's getting ready to present tonight to just, it will go faster if you say that you're going to abide by all DOT regulations. And I also need to correct something I said earlier. We actually do have one roadway cafe at the very end. It's not all sidewalk cafes. On this one, Miles.
Motion to approve is presented.
Okay, would anyone like to second that action from Miles? Yes. All right, and then let's please have someone call the question. Marco?
Call the question.
Great. Okay, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Marco, I think you earlier indicated that, did you say you were a no on this one, or is that something else? All
Sorry,
right.
it was in the other application, not in this
Oh,
application.
Okay,
Thank you.
not on this one. Thank you. Okay, so then this is going to go down as a 6-0 approval, recognizing that that Judy is not with us right now. All right, let's head on to the next one, which is By the Glass Inc. doing business as UVA. Have we got our representative there? And actually, before we get started there, Marco.
No, you continue. I'm just going to raise the hand because I know very well this restaurant. Thank you.
Okay, great. So I think we'll unmute. Yeah, great. Hello.
Hi there. I also have my associate on here, Nam. I think his hand is raised also.
Nam, you probably, yes. Okay, now you can speak as well.
Hi, yes, good evening.
And Nam's going to present.
Yes, we're with Warren, Callie, and Maddox, the attorneys for By the Glass Inc., doing business as UVAs. And as mentioned previously, we're here for DOT outdoor sidewalk seating area. The address is 1486 2nd Avenue, located between East 77th and East 78th. Our clients have already been approved for roadway. There was a clearance issue regarding the sidewalk, so they had to amend their drawings. There's 8 tables and 16 chairs for the sidewalk cafe. It covers 16 feet 11 inches by 7 feet 4 inches of a 20 feet 3-inch sidewalk, leaving over 10 feet of clearance as required. Inside, there's 37 tables, 81 seats, and 5 tables at the bar. And there's also 2 bathrooms. All application materials have been submitted and all notices have been posted. The Lusardi family's been operating for over 3 decades and they're beloved family restaurateurs in the area. They will comply with all DOT and fire department rules and regulations, including not covering any gas valves, and they will also remove all COVID era structures and without really like to open it up to the public.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any members of the public that have questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
I would like to put a motion then to speak. The motion is to approve to approve.
All right, and we've got seconds for that.
Yeah, I think this restaurant has been for a while in our community and we never have any complaints. I think we have to support them. Thank you.
Okay, and would anyone like to call the question on this? I see that for Robin, great. All right, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to go down as a 6-0 approval. All right, and then it looks like we're going to be welcoming Judy back, which is perfect because we have the photos from our early applicant. So let's now pop back up on the agenda to Green 84. And I'm going to ask Jordan, she's receiving thank you, to share a screen.
Just a second. Okay, so this is the photo that I received.
Okay, and the business is doing business past this cone. Does that look right to you, Ms. Lang? I know that you sent this over.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So board members, we have decisions to make. Judy, I know that you said that you are of one mind, and if that's like a motion you'd like to entertain, if anyone else has a different motion we'd like to entertain, to me, this.
Can I comment on the bikes that are shown?
Sure.
They're not in front of the restaurant. The restaurant is not over here. I mean, there are bikes. I see the bikes. You see the sidewalk cafe, it's pretty far down. I'm not sure if there's other bikes by the restaurant, but I'm not seeing them. These bikes are not by the restaurant.
Let's go to Jenny D because I believe this is a member of the public who hasn't yet spoken.
Hi. Yeah, so what I can say in terms of this particular picture, so the bikes that are closest to us in that, you're right, those are not in front of the restaurant at all. The issue becomes that the trash can, so you see where the cone is, that's on top of the area to get down into their basement. There's always 2 trash cans that are there, and then right across from it, it's almost like you can see a fire hydrant. There's another set of bikes there. So it narrows the area where you can walk between because they have the cone and the trash cans. The bicycles throughout the day are either where you see them right here. So they're clustered together, which depending on how many bicycles there are, become just another way that particular area is narrowed. But based on this picture, it's mostly the trash cans that are causing the issue.
Mr. Kelly, do you have anything that you want to say in response to that?
This is the first time the trash cans came up. If they're ours, they shouldn't be out there during the day, and I'll talk to the owner about it.
I mean, someone who I walk past there
know.
3 or 4 times a day with my dog, the trash cans are always there. So I don't know if they're supposed to be put away at some point, but it definitely narrows the area on top of the bicycles that are there. And I think there's always been a taller bar where not just where that tree pit is, but if you see the tree pit that's farthest away, There, you can also see there's a fire hydrant. It's almost right next to it. There's always been a taller bar there where bicycles are meant to be attached to it. But because it happens to be right across from where the areas to go into the basement and the trash cans, it just compounds the issue. So they're just all, it just tightens the area.
Okay. I can't speak for the rest of the board members, but I think the move might be here to table this and then come back to it because I think we risk a no vote otherwise. But let's just do it in the order that I see in this screen, starting with Judy.
Well, I have to tell you, my niece called me for London to tell me that she got engaged. So it
Oh,
was a
exciting.
very exciting phone call.
I bet.
So
Did you say, I'm sorry, I have to go talk about bikes and track and
no, I mean, I
sidewalks?
just had to listen to her. She's so excited. So I just thought I'd share the good news with everyone. Now, getting back to this, number one, do we know all these bikes belong to the restaurant?
Mr. Kelly says they don't. Not all of them, at
Okay,
least.
so I think Mr. Kelly has some work to do with his client, and the restaurant needs to have a supervisor or a manager or somebody who's going to come out and look at what's going on the street during the day. I really strongly suggest that we postpone this until next month and that we don't take any action on this now. That's a motion I guess I'm making, if I can.
Okay, a motion to table this.
Yeah, okay.
I think
Yeah.
Marco's gonna be unhappy that you talked and then make
Okay,
the
well,
motion.
then maybe
Yeah.
somebody else wants to make the motion.
Okay, let's go to Robin.
Thank you. I live around the corner from the Green Kitchen, and it is perpetually mayhem there. It's chaotic, it's disorganized. I would submit that all of those bikes belong to the folks that either work at the Green Kitchen or deliver for the Green Kitchen. There's no other empirical reason for them to be there. There's always action and traffic and stuff and noise. It's never calm and serene. It's never a nice block for the tenants. So, if we're gonna vote this evening, it sounds like we may or may not. I don't think we've decided on that yet, but I would be a no vote. Nobody is in charge of what's going on that street. If you table, I would support that as well, but they would have to really massively pay attention to what's going on the side street there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Marco.
Motion to table and is not debatable. Thank you. Unless somebody approve, second.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're gonna wait for a second, but Judy's with you there. So this is going to be a motion to table. Would anyone like to call the question on that? Yes, it looks like, okay. Miles, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I'll call the question, but I'm also just curious for the lawyer. What are there any other further actions that you think the business could take, or are you kind of stuck? I'm curious.
I think he has to let his servers outside know to keep an eye on people parking these bikes here. And I think he's got to keep an eye on his employees too. We know that they've been putting some in the basement. The ones they haven't would be the electric bikes. The garbage cans, I'll find out who they belong to, because if they belong to the restaurant, they shouldn't be out there during the day. They should come out at night within 2 hours of collection time.
Okay. So we are at the part now where we will have a motion to table this that has been presented, seconded, and the question has been called. So if anyone's going to be voting no against the motion to table this or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, it's going to go down as a 7-0 approval. All right, Mr. Kelly, we'll see you next month, it looks like.
Okay.
May I say something, Lindsay?
Yes.
I think we should have something in writing from the owner and then for the next time. Hopefully they're gonna fix everything and
They don't
hopefully gonna
care.
put in writing, and that will be very helpful because I think we have to make liable to the owner of the restaurant. I understand Mr. Kelly tried to do his best, and I appreciate that. But the owner should be liable right here. Thank you.
So Jordan, or Ian, I know Jordan was having some problems. If we can maybe reach out to the owner and say that there's we know that this is going to be like the third time that we've had to scrutinize this application. It'll be more successful if they can either come themselves or write something that indicates they've heard the concerns and are making efforts to address it.
I'll be bringing the owner with me next.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go back now to where we were in the agenda, which is down to Hughes Tavern, doing business as Phil Hughes Bar. Do we have, great, we have the applicant here. Will you please tell us your business name, your address, and then give us the rest of your presentation?
Hi, how you doing? I'm representing Hughes Tavern LLC, doing business as Phil Hughes Bar. We're located at 1682 First Avenue. It's the corner of 88th Street. And this is an application for a sidewalk cafe of 9 tables and 26 chairs. And we will will obey by the New York City Department of Transportation requirements.
All right, and did you have a setup during the COVID-19 restrictions?
Yes, we did. Since 2020, we started it. We had a roadway cafe and a sidewalk cafe.
Okay, and this is for the sidewalk cafe. Did you have any complaints during that time of the setup?
Not formal complaints, but we had neighbors who complained about noise to us directly, and we've tried to address it with them.
Okay, let's go to the public. William Cooper.
Hello. This is my first community board meeting.
Congratulations.
Well, I wanted to wish congratulations to Judy on her niece. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
I moved to the Upper East Side from the West Village about a year ago. There was a lot of outdoor dining, a lot of bars, excuse me, in the West Village. Not nearly the same type of vibes on the Upper East Side. I will say that I've come to patronize Phil Hughes Bar quite a bit over the last year. It's a tremendous establishment, responsible, clean, and very well run. And I would be remiss to say that, I've had family celebrations there. I've had friends come into town, and everybody says the same thing. It's a great place, and they deserve additional outdoor seating. I think it would be a tremendous benefit to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. And what a nice time to come to your local government to say something good. That's a great way to start it. Let's recognize Marco.
Thank you. I would like to put a motion, then to speak. The motion is to approve.
All right, you've got seconds for that.
Okay, Mr. Moran, I think you has been for a while in the community board. The only thing I expect that you continue behave outside properly, and because also you have right there the bus shelter. I hope that you comply with these old rules and regulations in that place. And I wish the best always.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve. Would someone like to call the question? Seems like Judy's going to do that. All right. So this is a motion to approve for the outdoor sidewalk cafe. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 7-0 approval. All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go on to our next piece of business, which is for 1629 Second Restaurant LLC, doing business as Ethel's, but it might be the case that we don't have a representative from this business here.
That's correct. I wasn't able to get in contact with anyone from the business. Unfortunately, their deadline to the DOT is literally a day before our next Street Life meeting in December. So I could try to reach out to them to come to full board.
Okay, so we might find ourselves in a situation where we have a non-responsive business where the move is to disapprove, and then in the event that they come to the full board and present and flyer, then we have the opportunity to approve them. That seems to be the style that I would prefer, but I'm open to hearing other ideas. Miles?
Yeah, motion to table until the next full board meeting.
Well, that's like not quite what it
Well,
is.
that's
It's not
not.
a tabling. It would be a motion to disapprove because this one has a deadline where it has to have a determination. And so what would happen is it would be a disapproval, but conditional on them showing up to full board and then being open for an approval there. So if no one's seconding Miles, I'll go to Marco real quick.
Thank you. Motion to disapprove as presented.
All right. And we have a second from Judy. Very fine. So
With
this,
with the recommendation, with the stipulation you just mentioned. Thank
yeah,
you.
this the stipulation that conditional on full board. I'll write all this in. Yeah, okay. All right, so this is a motion to disapprove. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining on this, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to be a 7-0 disapproval. All right. Thank you very much. Let's now go on to JGL Restaurant doing business as Italian Village. Do we have a representative from this business here? If you are here representing Italian Village.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Great.
Sorry, just couldn't get this that meeting sorted. My name is Rich. I'm here with my father, Jose. We are the owner operators at JGL Restaurant Corp, doing business as Italian Village Pizza. We are at 1494 First Avenue. Our hours of operations are 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. We held a sidewalk cafe previously. Now with the new DOT regulations, we are reapplying, and we will comply with all rules and regulations of the New York City Department of Transit.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public that has questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
I would like to put a motion then to speak. The motion is to approve.
All right, you've got second from Judy.
Okay, I think this place, this pizza place has been for a while in that corner, and I think we had to support that. It has been in business. They never, there is nothing wrong in this place. It helps our community a lot, even though there is a lot of competition. But I think it's very nice to have them. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
you very
you, Marco.
much. We've got a motion to approve. Would anyone like to call the question? All right, I see Miles, sorry. Yes, everyone's like moving around on my screen. Great, so this is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to go down as a 7-0 approval. All right, thank you very much. Let's now head to Starbucks, doing business as Starbucks. We might not have a representative from this business. Jordan, do we have one tonight?
We should, yeah.
Here.
Okay,
I'm
great.
here.
Hooray, let's hear your presentation.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for hearing us tonight. My name is Gabriel Harris. I'm the store development manager for Starbucks covering Manhattan. I apologize for background and potentially background noise. I'm stuck on an extremely delayed train. So thanks for bearing with me. So our application is for a sidewalk cafe at the Starbucks Coffee House at 71st in York. The address is 1328 York Avenue, and the application is for 6 tables and 12 seats facing York. This coffee house was open last year and extremely well received by the community, and I think continues to be so. It's great. It's always busy. We've got really good relationship with the community, the hospital, and everything happening around us. We agree to comply with DOT code and requirements, and I think that's really it for me.
All right, is there anyone from the public that has questions or comments for this applicant? Seeing none, let's go to Marco.
Motion to approve as presented.
Great, you've got a second. Would anyone like to call the question? Okay, great. Let's go ahead and call the question on this. This is a motion to approve. If anyone's going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 7-0 approval. All right, thank you very much. And I hope you get to wherever you need to go on your train. Let's actually, before we get to our last item of business, to the board members, when we had that layover earlier on Green Kitchen, that is going to push us up against a deadline with the State Liquor Authority that I wasn't aware of until after we made that action. The State Liquor Authority generally is more lenient than the Department of Transportation on pushing over these things. But I just wanted to make everyone aware that they do have a 50-day deadline, and they already laid over once because I think we tabled them. And so that's just like, let it be known. That's the thing that we're pushing up against. All right, our final order of business in this part of the agenda is for the roadway cafe that Via Quadrano is applying for. Do we have a representative from this business here?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let's hear your presentation.
Okay, my name is Kevin McGrath. I represent Via Quadrano. This is the third time I think that we've been before this board. The property is at 25 East 73rd Street. We've been in business since 1999 at this property, so 26 years ago. We're looking for sidewalk, we're looking for roadway outdoor dining for 4 tables and 20 seats. We will comply with, first of all, we've posted as required all the proper notices, and we will obtain all the approvals that are necessary and stand by all rules and regulations of the Department of Transportation. The property is a little over 6 feet by 13 feet, or approximately 91 square feet.
All right, and for the roadway cafe, I think I have the numbers incorrect in what I have. What I have is for 4 tables and 8 chairs, but I think you said another number. Can you repeat that for me?
Yes, I did. I said 4 chairs and 4 tables and 20 seats.
Okay, and this is for the roadway.
That's shown on the diagram, the proposed outdoor cafe, which I've submitted to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at that picture right now. I guess it's the rectangles must be 2 chairs instead of, or like benches that seat 2 or something. Because as it looks like 4 tables and 8 chairs. But I will note that this is in your rendering 4 tables and 20 chairs.
That's correct. That's what the diagram shows. And by the way, the last time I was before you, you required that a certified, that this be drawn by an architect. And as you can be seen, it's been certified by an architect. So all the measurements are as set forth by the architect. And
Okay. And I don't mean to like continue on this for too long, but when I see the diagram, it's not clear. But when you actually see the address in the form that's on, actually, Jordan, I don't know if you can pop this up. It does say 4 tables and 8 chairs.
Right.
So that's like something for us to either reconcile here that it's going to be 4 and 20, and then you change that. But it says 4 and 8 in the application that we have.
I see. All right.
Okay. Let's go to the public. Lock Potter.
Thanks. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. The application I'm looking at on the board's website, I don't see an architect stamp drawing. But setting that issue aside, as Kevin noted, I think this is the 3rd time we've been here this year about this application. And whether an architect has stamped the drawings or not, still has a facial flaw, just plain as day on its face. The restaurant still, as we described in September, extends beyond their proposed roadway cafe extends beyond their restaurant frontage quite clearly on their own drawing, which I believe is at page 7 of their application. It's a little confusing because they've got 2 drawings in there, but I believe we're considering their revised drawing, which first appeared in September, and we're considering again today. That diagram, I believe it also misrepresents the scale quite a bit, even if you just look at the pictures elsewhere in the same application. They're asking for a roadway cafe more than 16 feet in length. Our measurements show they've got less than 8 feet at most to work with. In September, Kevin noted that we've been here a few times, and perhaps we're the only ones that care about this. I want to flag that that's not true. There's another member of the public here today as well. He's been here at each of the other hearings. Also, his name is Salvatore Lenzo. And he too would like to speak. He's had some trouble speaking in the past, but I spoke to Jordan earlier today, and I'm hopeful he'll get a chance to speak after I do. This application fails for other reasons too. It's the restaurant frontage is probably the most obvious reason, but there's no handicapped access considered here. They don't have that 5-foot turning radius. We've consistently said they are going to lack the 15 feet minimum for emergency vehicles going down this narrow street, 73rd Street. There's constant sidewalk congestion here historically from this outdoor dining setup. Excessive trash and people on our steps. More rats than we ever saw before they began their outdoor dining operations. Lights in the trees as of yesterday, which is also, all of these things are against the regulations. The only other thing I'd flag is that, we've had to continuously come here and keep an eye on these hearings. And we're worried we'll miss one, and this will get approved somehow because we just miss it. But something this clearly defective, we're hoping you all put it to a vote and vote against it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Potter. Let's now go to Farik Farajaz. Excuse me if I've mispronounced your name. And you should be getting invitation to unmute.
I sent you a prompt to unmute. You just got to hit the button that says confirm on your screen. And send another one.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, it'll be better if you turn your camera on.
I apologize. I'm at the location where picking my son up here from a soccer game. So sorry about that. So I just wanted to express my support for this application. I'm a regular customer at Via Quadrono. And I used to go there when they had this set up in the past, and it was a pleasure going there, and I think it adds to the community. From what I'm able to see and what my experience there has been, they were able to maintain the restaurant very well. It's a very nice restaurant, and I think having a few outdoor tables again would make it enjoyable for customers.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
You're welcome.
Let's go to Philip Chartouni.
Hi, Dan, come.
Hi, how are you today?
Hello, thanks for coming.
I just wanted to say I'm born and raised in the Upper East Side. I've lived here for 31 years now. My family runs a business on the Upper East Side called the Lowell Hotel, and we're turning 100. I've grown up going to Via Quadrono, and I really miss having the outdoor seating there. It's such an essential restaurant for our community and for all of their customers that have grown up going there. And I think if they can do it right in a way that doesn't affect their surrounding community, they should be granted that ability to have that outdoor seating like they have done successfully in the past. I think it's really important for our restaurants, especially along Madison Avenue and between 5th and Madison in this case, to have more customers as we lose a lot of these restaurants as rents go up. And so I wanted to voice my opinion and support their application.
Thank you very much. Let's now go to Charlie Gerard.
That's me, and I don't understand what's going on here. I'm with the family next door. We've been here many times, And suddenly this piece of paper is the same as the one last time. And it was I think it was 4 tables and 8 chairs. And now the same piece of paper is said to be 20 seats. Is that what I heard?
That's what I heard, but in the application materials that I see that are posted, it says 4 and 8, so there's some discrepancy.
Yeah, there's just a problem that has to be forced here.
4 tables. It's clearly on the diagram, and each of the tables have 4 seats in them. It's on the diagram.
Respectfully, in the typed parts, it does say 4 tables, 8 chairs in 2 different places. So reading into the diagram is a difficult task, I think, to put on us.
Right.
But if we say that it's going to be 4 and 20, that can be how we consider it.
Yes,
Mr. Gerard,
that's-
do you want to continue with your comments?
Yes, because if it's everything we're talking about is all the more if it's 4 and 20. 4 and 20 just doesn't make any sense in the space. I think it's some sort of a confusion. But if it's 4 and 8, if it's exactly the same as September, which already had the problems, that's what we're looking at. It's hard to argue against something that we can't see if the attorney, with all due respect, has a whole new plan. But this is the same supporting diagram as September. Nothing has been altered to comply with the requirements. It's still no good. It's still a kind of a waste of time on that basis. Wonders something else going on, don't know. The handwritten diagram of the roadway cafe on page 7 extends beyond the restaurant frontage. Other problems still not fixed. No handicap access. We calculate on this.
There's no.
Go ahead.
All right, you're speaking to, we have this objector who has some interest in a property that's next.
No. Well, you can make your general points later. Let me just I thought you were going to talk about the handicap issue.
Yes, the handicap issue is it's flat. There's no handicap issue at all.
No, for a roadway cafe, it's not a question just of flatness. It's a question of turning radius inside the
That's
little
the turning
area.
radius in the diagram.
You can't possibly have 20 seats in there and have space that you require. No way. But I'm not an expert. I'm literally not. So
That's
I just
right.
want to make the points and then let other people who know more than I do perhaps address them. But the 15 feet minimum for emergency vehicles going down 73rd Street isn't there. Constant sidewalk congestion here when they had the outdoor dining, constant testing of limits with infractions. And somewhat as I detect is going on right now. Plus trash, I don't see any plan. Trash came up dramatically in this meeting earlier, and we haven't even talked about that because in fact, in some ways they dealt with it. But if they're going to do what they're doing now, what's the plan for trash? There can't be trash cans out there during the day.
There are
People
no trash.
on our steps, on the neighbor's steps, more rats than we ever saw before, especially at quiet times, at night, not, of course, when there's all these people. The last meeting, they presented the same info. The board suggested a survey reflecting a need to be formal and clear, and that has been ignored. How can this come back again and again, here and DOT, with no changes and still be valid procedurally, open for consideration without deadline? This is the 3rd time, as somebody else said, family has appeared, etc. We just seek clarity and a formal vote no, because in my opinion, the applicant is flouting the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gerard. Yes, and I will note that this application has come before us multiple times since March. So that's the sort of, if you're new to this procedure, this is the back and forth that we've had. Let's go to Salvatore. Is it Salvatore Lenzo?
May I speak?
Sure.
Mr. Gerard said that there's congestion on the sidewalk. There's no congestion on the sidewalk. With respect to the rats, we've spoken about this. We and the landlord on 2 different occasions have contacted the city of New York, and we've done everything possible to alleviate the rat problem. The rat problem has nothing to do with our restaurant and we don't have any garbage out on the street at all, ever. And I don't believe the objectant said that we have garbage on the street, but on the sidewalk, but we don't. We keep our garbage inside until it's collected. We observe all the requirements for the sanitation department as to how it's kept. They're kept in protective bins and put outside for collection by the city or by the private collector, depending on who is collecting them.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Salvatore Lenzo, excuse me.
Yes, good evening. I'd like to give you some perspective on who I am. I've lived at 21 East 73rd Street for 33 years. I've raised my 3 children on the block. I think I am uniquely qualified to give you the proper perspective on what this restaurant means to the street and to the people that live on the street. During the 5 years during COVID, when we had the big shed outside, there was tremendous traffic. Even now, when there's not a shed outside, there's tremendous traffic. And it's on innumerable occasions that I've seen people cross the street to their danger in the middle of the block because they couldn't get through. In addition, with regard to what this gentleman just said about the rats, you don't live here. Every day that I walked out of my house for 5 years up the stairs, a tree in front of my house, I saw dirt and holes that were evacuated by the rats. The reason why there are rats there is they make their nests underneath the shed there. In addition, they actually, I've heard from the doormen on the street, they actually invade cars. They eat away into the wires within the cars on the street. So there's a problem with crowding. You have to put on notice that there's going to be a problem here. There's going to be someone who's hit. There's going to be someone who's going to get seriously injured because of this crowding on the street. Every weekend you can't get by. And the rat problem is very serious. Right now, I don't see as many rats because we don't have the issue there. We don't have all the breeding ground for the rats. So as I said, I've lived on the block for 33 years. I've seen this every day of my life. And I just want to give you, I think you should reject this request.
Thank you. Let's go to member of the public, Jack Alblon.
Hi there. Yeah, so my family has lived around the corner from Quadrono for now, let's say 70 years, and I've enjoyed some of my best childhood memories with my grandparents and now great grandparents frequenting the restaurant. And I think what was so amazing about having the outdoor dining was ever since COVID, they at their older age, and I think lots of other members in the area at similar age have been, a bit more wary of dining inside in smaller, stuffier spaces. And of course, that is the name of the game in New York. But this kind of gave them a whole new opportunity to connect with family and friends. And I just think the restaurant is truly one of a kind in not just the city, but truly the entire country. The quality of the service, the quality of the food, the fact that you step in and it feels like you're kind of going back in time. It's, in a world where we have franchises popping up left and right, it's extraordinarily rare that you have a place of the quality of both the experience and the service and the staff at Quadrono. So it is sad to hear that there's some procedural issues, I think, with the proposal. And I don't think anyone here, wants to approve something that is not up to code. But I would also really consider what this means to the neighborhood and the residents of the neighborhood who, in this new world, especially as I said, I have grandparents and great grandparents who went to Quadrono since it opened every single day for 20 years. And because of public health and personal health, don't feel as comfortable going. And this gives them opportunity to give business to a restaurant that I think it's really hard for the restaurant to stay in business without this outdoor seating. So I would really implore us to take a hard look at the proposal that's before the board here. I wasn't here for the previous call, so I apologize for not having context. But to make a judgment based on the proposal that doesn't seem like it's actually going to give it a fair shot. Again, I don't have the context. Feels like it could, really put this amazing asset to the community out of business. Frankly, like that's what we're looking at. Which putting in a Starbucks in the space instead or leaving it vacant doesn't do the neighborhood any favors, and doesn't do the city any favors. So I think it is one of a kind. I'm going to express my extremely strong support for for 80-year-olds, 100-year-olds, and 110-year-olds in my family who don't have the energy to be on this call tonight. So thank you for listening. I think everyone who shows up here and voices their opinion deserves to be heard. So I appreciate people offering dissenting opinions as well. But yeah, thank you for giving me some time.
Thanks for coming out. Let's go to Andrea De Alessandro.
Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Hi, I represent the owner of 25 East 73rd Street. I've worked for that owner for 36 years. And I just want to state that the food at the establishment is fantastic. It's all about the ingredients. I also understand that it is 4 tables and 8 chairs. I don't think it's the 20 chairs. I wouldn't have been for that many chairs. So I think that Mr. McGrath might be wrong in that explanation. I'm pretty sure that it's a smaller application this time. The garbage pails are now taken inside and they're kept in the basement. So there is, and I believe that the rat problem has been reduced since we've been doing that. And I have to thank the rat czar for basically mandating that. I really think it's made a difference. I think the owner of the restaurant is a very wonderful person, Casey Lamb. I think that he does everything he can to keep the area clean. And I think he's a wonderful guy, and I hope he can continue to do his business. I think that he wanted the outdoor cafe because it does attract a few more people walking up Madison when they see it out there. And that's a little bit like a sign for him. It is a little difficult to make ends meet when you're not right on the avenue. There it is.
Thank you. All right.
This is Kevin McGrath. I just want to say that we had the outdoor dining during that period of time that it was allowed, and we didn't have any problems with either transportation or people using this facility.
Okay, let's go to Chris Gerard.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Thank you for recognizing me. I just wanted to comment on a couple of things that have come up. One is the idea that without the outdoor activity, Via Quadrona would likely go out of business. Via Quadrona, as Mr. McGrath mentioned, has been in business since 1999. There was no outdoor activity until the beginning of COVID. And so that's 20 years, and Via Quadrona was doing just fine by all appearances. I would also say I would like to go back to something that was reiterated at the beginning, which is that this application is still fundamentally defective in that the roadside activity, the roadside cafe that is proposed, extends beyond the frontage of the restaurant. And that is clearly in violation of what the statute requires. And to me, that's sort of a fundamental issue. And I don't know how that has been, even with this third attempt, still not rectified. I just don't understand that. So those are the main points I wanted to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I see a hand from someone named Zoom user. That's sort of like an impossible request in some ways. If they'd like to rename themselves for first and last name, happy to do it. Until then, let's go to Marco.
Thank you. I don't know if I put a motion, but I think it's better to discuss a little bit deeper. First of all, nobody is against these restaurants. These restaurants will keep operating in the way that was operating before the sidewalk and the roadwalk sidewalk cafe. So my point is, and that was the last time we discussed, is I asked to have a surveyor. They properly make a good survey of the property on the street. And with that document, we can make a good judgment. But now, very respectful with the attorney, he's coming with something very sloppy, very hard. I'm an architect, so it means it's a shame to see that an architect do something like that. It should put the scale. It should do a lot of stuff. He doesn't need to put the seal, but he can do better, so we can have a good judgment. Now, in front of us, this attorney, he's coming with the third time to try to convince us. But the community explained it to us clearly, and we had to listen to the community that is not in the way that they represented to us. So personally, myself, I'm going to say no to this application until properly have at least the owner sit down with the residents and reach an agreement. And then we can bind to that agreement us. But if they want to just come in and present different situations, impossible to make a good judgment, it will be hard to approve something like that. And my vote will be no. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Chloe Davis from the public.
Hello, thank you so much for the opportunity to briefly speak. I just also wanted to repeat what others have said, which is that it's disappointing to see the restaurant once again bring a proposal that is not accurate and is misrepresenting the block and where the outdoor seating would be situated vis-a-vis their property line. I also wanted to add that when they've had outdoor tables there in the past, fairly recently, it created all manner of problems for people like us trying to pass through. My family, we live on East 73rd Street, and we frequently walk down that block with our stroller, and there were always waiters passing back and forth between the tables. They were paying little attention to people trying to pass by on the sidewalk. There were generally patrons lined up to go inside, and it was very problematic. So hasn't worked well in the past. And the last point I'd like to make is just somebody mentioned that they make every effort to be clean and that there's less of a rat problem. I don't know, that may very well be true. However, I certainly I'm sure other neighbors have shared the same experience of our noses being assaulted on passing by via Quadrono, because there is a very strong smell of old mop combined with cleaning solvent, which anyone who's worked in the restaurant business probably recognizes as not taking very good care of your cleaning supplies. So I'm not inclined to break rules or give exceptions to a restaurant who really doesn't seem to be trying their best to be a good neighbor in other ways. So thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. Let's recognize Lionel Brex, and that'll be, I believe, the last of the comments from the public, and then we'll go back to the board.
Hello, thank you for having me. Just to explain, it's going to be very short. Every time I walk in front, it's very busy, and I don't really believe the story that they'll go out of business if they don't have the outdoor seating, because currently there's always like a line, and even now there's a line to get into the restaurant on a beautiful day. There's Eli's with outdoor seating. It's very busy, and all the people who can't sit there try to go to Via Quadrano. It's very, very busy, and it's still kind of hard to get through, but it's definitely way, way better than when they had the outdoor seating. And I will say they also have the ability to open their windows. So you have two tables that are virtually almost like outdoors. And I just don't see the need. I think it's one of the prettiest streets on the Upper East Side. And it's really like they didn't do a great job putting up the shed. It's not pretty. I just think it would have an overall negative impact on the neighborhood. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for keeping your comments concise, brief, and non-repetitive. Let's recognize Gerard Dan, presuming this is on this issue.
Thank you. It's actually Dan Gerard. I've never been able to change that back. I bought up in the house next door. I spoke at previous ones. I reiterate all of the previously expressed objections. The easiest one, as Marco has said, is there's no survey. I mean, if it was done properly, you could clearly see that the proposed location extends past the restaurant, so you can't approve it. But all the rest is there. We've said it before. If you look at the picture in the application, you see our house to the right, where it was our grandfather's house. My father lived there. He was born in 1919. But I don't mean to go on. If you look at the picture, you'll see our house is down low. The entrance to our house is low. The protruding element that was just referred to as the glass windows that open up, that wasn't there when I was growing up. It's made of wood. I don't even know what it is. But if we're boxed in, right? So a lot of the people that have talked to, speaking of which, I believe that there's no, adverse procession for New York City property or any public property, and I do believe that's the entire front of the establishment is, as mentioned, is wood, and it protrudes into the sidewalk already. So the people who have supported the applicant don't live here, and I've now heard many people, including my family, of course, but two other people that live on 73rd Street. So if you live there, you see what's happening. So we are the community. We've been here combined, hundreds of years on the street. So I'm sorry. I think, and again, as my nephew Locke Potter said, it keeps coming back. How many times do we have to show up? Though I must say the democratic process is impressive. That's all I have to say. Thank you. I think it should be rejected this go around.
Thank you. All right, let's go to the board members, and I believe we're at a point
I'd
where you
like
all.
to say something before you go to the board, if I may. If I can't, that's fine. I'll say it.
Go ahead.
The Geralds have testified, but they don't live there. And I want that to be very clear to the board. They have put this property in a trust, and neither of the two gentlemen that spoke live there. One is an attorney, and he doesn't live there, and he doesn't work out of there, and the other person doesn't live there either. So that's just a point of order.
All right. Let's go to Judy Schneider. And Dan Gerard, I see you. I see your camera. Let's go to Judy Schneider.
Mr. McGrath, I am exceedingly confused about how many tables and chairs, because the last time somebody asked you, you said there were 4 tables with 4 chairs at each table. That's 16 chairs. 4 times 4 is 16, at least that much of my math I still remember. And so we keep getting different answers. Also, the people are saying that the space where the tables and chairs exceeds the exterior of the restaurant. So I personally think that where it is and what it is a huge issue for us, aside from many other issues. I have one other issue, which is the rats, and that question, the owner should be having an exterminator on a weekly, regular basis to take care of the rat problem, but that's my own opinion. But I think that you need to get the board an architectural drawing, a correct drawing, not, I didn't see any of the drawings, not just a sketch, but an actual drawing by an architect showing the tables, showing the chairs, if they're chairs or benches or whatever they are. And my personal opinion would be to lay this over until next month and not take any action. I don't know if there's a time thing on this, Lindsay, or not.
Yeah, I think we're in the position where we're making a motion to approve or disapprove and not table anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's going to be very difficult for the board listening to I'll speak for myself. It's going to be difficult for me to approve. This may be wonderful, but Mr. McGrath, I don't think there was a clear presentation by you of what actually is happening in the street there. And therefore, I can't personally approve this.
Thank you.
Well, that's all I have to say.
The survey,
Responses.
the survey was presented by an architect. He certified it, or it certified it. It's a company, and it shows 4 tables and 4 seats in each table.
Well, then that's 16 seats. You said 20 seats when you first started.
I'm
right,
sorry.
Lindsay?
I'm sorry. My parochial math was incorrect. Okay, it's 16 seats.
Okay.
Okay.
But I have a problem. Does this, Mr. McGrath, extend past the line of the actual building? Because these are only supposed to go in front of the restaurant. They're not supposed to go beyond the restaurant.
That's right. It's 13 feet wide, and with the restaurant is 8 feet, and the entrance is 4 feet.
What's the length of the outdoor cafe?
The length of the outdoor cafe on this survey is 13 feet.
The length of it. Well, then the length of the restaurant is only 8 feet. So then it does go
No,
past.
no. The survey shows restaurant entrance, then Via Cordrono. So you have to take 4 feet and 8 feet. And then
That's 12 feet.
and then the entrance to the building, which this is in.
No.
No, I know.
It's only the restaurant, then it's 12 feet. So, and you're telling me the outdoor cafe is 13 feet. So it's at least a foot past what is allowed.
All right.
So therefore, either you will have to come up with an architectural plan that is correct within the guidelines for an outdoor cafe, or you're not going to get anywhere with this.
That's correct. That's correct.
Because what you're presenting to us is not correct according to the law.
It also seems very hard to put 16 chairs in an 8 by 13 foot space with tables. Like all of this math here is very difficult. Let's go to Evan Meyerson, and in my sincerest urge that we maybe are making a motion, but if you have questions, of course, ask a question.
Yeah, well, dreams do come true, Lindsay, but forgive me for not being on camera. I'm just going to say quickly, I live a block from Via Quadrono. My family and I enjoy going there very much, and I wish it a long life. But I'd like to pose a motion to disapprove the outdoor seating.
And we've got a second from Miles, and someone would like to call the question. It looks like Robin. All right. So everyone, this is going to be a motion to disapprove. If you are going to be voting no or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, it will go down as a 7-0 disapproval. Robin, I see your hand is up.
Lynn, did you get a prompt?
Robin needs a prompt, not me.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I was going to call the question, so we're good.
Okay. All right. So question is called motion to disapprove. It's the opportunity is now to abstain or vote against that. Otherwise, this is a 7-0 disapproval. All right. This is a 7-0 then. Thank you everyone for coming out for the process. If you'd like to continue this, the full board is meeting next Wednesday. And if the applicant wants to be there, I suppose there can be another discussion, but that's how it is for now, that this is a disapproval. All right, let's now move to the main event, which I understand we have a lot of new people who are here for, which is our only cannabis application of the evening, happening over on Roosevelt Island. Do we have a representative from Empire Flower Incorporated here?
Hello.
Hello. Why don't you go ahead with your presentation? And then I think Marco is still unmuted, so we might need to, yep, there we go.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Nice to meet you. Jared Spindell, the sole operator, owner of Empire Flower. And our store concepts are The Florist, mainly geared towards being in neighborhoods that are diverse and family oriented, but also have a mix of different patrons. And we wanted to differentiate from what is the kind of norm. So the whole flower shop concept is to have a real operating flower shop in the front, where typically you would check in a very kind of sterile medical feeling scenario. You're going to come into a flower shop and check in there, and then you'll have to go through a passage to get into the dispensary. So the idea is that we're fitting into neighborhoods, not making waves with people that have underage families or don't want to participate at all, but also kind of interface and have a nice presentation. So, our windows are not going to be neon green pot leaves. Our windows are going to be a lot of vegetation and pleasant to look at flowers and plants, which really are only going to add to the block, which is now kind of, it's kind of Swiss cheese there on Main Street. So the rest of it, is normal. We're gonna make sure that there's not any sort of consumption going on in and around the space. And we're going to do a really nice, clean, presentable business, follow the rules, and try to give back to the community and do some additional events and activations that have nothing to do with, cannabis, but really just to be a good neighbor to the community there.
All right, I'm going to exercise a little bit of chair's prerogative to say that in advance of hearing from the public, we have had an outpouring of over 7 pages of people who have not wanted this business to come into Roosevelt Island for a variety of reasons. I also do want to recognize Declan, a 5th grader in there, who wrote a very long letter and said all his reasons for not doing this, which was heartening to see a young child get involved in the process. I'll also say none of the licensed cannabis shops are ever going to have neon green pot leaves because that's prohibited by our regulations on licensed cannabis shops. And in a personal way, I think the idea of combining this with flowers, though maybe business innovative, is kind of disgusting in the sense that it might trick people into going into a place that they otherwise don't want to be. So how this is going to work is we're going to hear from members of the public, but we have over 100 people here tonight, and I imagine many of you have similar viewpoints on this or have similar sorts of complaints. And so in the desire that we are not here till midnight, I'm going to ask that as you give your complaints, if someone else has already said that, please just speak to seconding that complaint instead of rehashing it again, and know that these things are being heard. We've seen all the letters you've written. We want to hear you out here, but no one wants to be here in this capacity until midnight. I don't know what Miles is waving about, but he wants to say hi. Let's recognize Miles and then we'll go to the public.
Hi, Miles.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we get the letters as the committee to read?
You know
or-
what? Maybe just the chair did. I'm going to ask Jordan to forward them to you. So it might be
Okay,
something that
sorry,
just
yeah.
Abraham and I had. So Jordan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Let's start with Amanda, Judy. Since this is our strategy now. Yes, Judy?
Can you please tell me where this shop is going to open? I didn't get an address if somebody gave it.
So Jared, can you do that for her?
Is it on Main Street? And if
Yes.
so, where?
The old doctor's office. 520 Main Street.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I also, before we get into this, want us all to recognize the rules of decorum. We are all trying to get a communal outcome here, and no one feels better about this if it gets really fractious. Susie Troop Leader, I see you. I will say in recognizing the norms of decorum, we're going to start with Amanda Cross, and hopefully we can like lower the visual so we can focus on whoever's speaking. Let's start with Amanda Cross.
Lindsay, thank you. So just by introduction, my name is Amanda Cross. I'm a 40-year resident of Rosewood Island. I also work in the commercial real estate industry in New York. This is my first community board meeting, so it's nice to be here. I mostly want to pay attention to the New York State Office of Cannabis Management policies and regulations about planning. And there's a few things in there that I think are contrary to the plan for this location. And I just want to ask you, Jared, if you're aware of some of these things.
Sure.
So as part of that document, it says that you cannot have a cannabis shop within 500 feet of a school. Within 500 feet of this location are two elementary school, well, one elementary school and one middle school, the Child's School and the Child's School Elementary School. So that within direct
Ms. Cross,
distance,
if
there are
I could
actually
stop you on this,
Yeah.
this is one that we've had multiple times, and this is going to be frustrating to you, but the way those regulations are written is that it can be within 500 feet, but not on the direct same street, and the school has to occupy the entirety of the building, which rarely schools do. And so this one is likely going to be fine because of the way that those regulations were written, despite the fact that I understand that is not a normal person.
What about places of worship?
Same sort of thing has to be on the same block within 500 feet. Can't be
200 feet.
Can't be around the corner. Excuse me, 200 feet. Can't be around the corner. Has to be on the same street. That house of worship has to occupy the entirety of the building. That's also something that many places don't do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's our buildings on Rosewood Island are very unique in planning in that the entire side of the block is one building. So it is very hard for us to say something does not occupy an entire building. And within 150 feet of this location is a church that does occupy the full stack of the floors, even though there's adjacent spaces that are other purposes. Right next to it is also a children's community center that does occupy the full space, but it is all one continuous building, which is the nature of the architecture on Rosewood Island. The next thing I just want to make sure everyone is aware of, again, just in planning, is that by having a cannabis location, you are permitted for delivery. For 100 of people on the call know that we do not have large roadways on Rosewood Island. We have one street. We do not have any place to park next to this location. There is nowhere to pull over. There is one side that you can pull over. So I'm curious, Jared, what your plan is for delivery and pickup that would be happening at this location.
Thank you. So the plan is electric vehicles bikes mainly. It's a small place, so we can get there quickly. And to really, the goal is not to impede on any existing fabric of a neighborhood. Our goal is to interface and bring services to a lot of people of all ages, obviously legal and up, that use cannabis products in a variety of forms. So really, we want to make it seamless, and we want to be a contributor to the community. And so, everything legal, everything by the book. All of our delivery guys are going to be vetted, and again, I guess the whole concept is to not be in your face with this stuff. I understand that there are people that either are completely against it or just are indifferent, and so we're not trying to affect those people. So every facet of what we're doing is going to be really carefully considered, and we're going to always be trying to interface, and if there's a complaint or if there's an issue, we're going to listen and fix it, because we want to be good neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, we are a very small community here. And as was mentioned, you're replacing the only doctor's office that we had. We don't have a doctor's office at the moment. That's actually the primary thing that we're all hoping to have back for our children and for adults. The challenge is we also only have 11,000 people who live on this island. And so I actually work on 42nd Street, which is one of the other locations. There's a cannabis dispensary. So a very different population of individuals that service that. So we know that this is going to increase foot traffic on the island. And my final point, and I know you guys all want me to stop talking, is disposal of waste. So you cannot use the traditional disposal of waste as part of disposal of cannabis. Rosewood Island has a very unique garbage disposal system called the AVAC system that is utilized by this building, which you will not be able to use, which is going to increase garbage distribution on this portion of the island, which we already have maintained to a limitation, again, because we only have one street. So all of these things just add to the complexity of having a distribution center for cannabis outside of, the cosmetics of a flower retail store. So thank you all. Appreciate that you're taking the time to listen to us, and I'll hand it off to the 100 other community members who want to speak.
Yes, let's go ahead and hear from Susie Troop Leader. Or Susie Leader, excuse me.
Thank you so much. I'm here to represent the Roosevelt Island Girl Scouts, Troop 3233. And I just want to second what Amanda said about the distance. The Girl Scouts made a video, went out to the street and measured 3 times, make sure that the numbers were correct, towards the Catholic Church, San Francis Cabrini, and to the Roosevelt Island Youth Center. The Youth Center has been there for 30 years. The church has been there for over 5 years. The distance to the church is 149 feet, to the Youth Center is 151 feet. Now, I want to ask Jared about the cannabis distribution that he plans to do in electric vehicles like bicycles and other things. One, you cannot use the breezeway right next to it because it's the buildings and there is no parking there. Across the street, there is no parking. On your side of the street, there is no parking. You cannot use any vehicle in the sidewalks. So I don't know where you plan to park your distribution vehicles in Roosevelt Island when there's no parking available.
Are you done?
I'm not done, but that's my question.
So we have access in the alleyway to the back part of the building. So my store does. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Okay,
so,
that's a breezeway and that's an emergency road for firefighters and ER vehicles to be able to access the tenants that live on the back.
Right.
So that there's no parking in Roosevelt Island unless you pay the parking lot above Foodtown. Yeah. And I just want to mention to the Community Board 8, where this place wants to be located, it's on our only street. That's the only way where kids and families have to pass to get out of the island, ferry, tram, subway, to go to any of the schools, to go to any of the nurseries, to go to any of the youth centers, to our only library, to go to any religious services of the multiple religions that we have, to go to any activity related to sports, and to go to any activity related to arts and culture like Main Street Theater. That store has a back door to a very open space, which nowadays people that use cannabis are hanging out to smoke. So there's absolutely no truth that there will no be any persons in Roosevelt Island smoking, because they will. We have a lot of beautiful green open spaces that are family oriented. And the way that he's presenting this store is to bring more people to Roosevelt Island that we cannot afford. Our tram is already congested as it is. Our subway is already congested as it is. So I don't know where he plans to park his distribution vehicles, because there is no parking and the alleyway cannot be used. And there is no riding on any sidewalk of Roosevelt Island. That will be all. And thank you so much. And please look at the video that the Girl Scouts made, because they went out and measure physically from door to door. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for working with young people getting involved in Action Civics. I think it's an important way for them to learn. Let's go to Amanda Brown.
Can I answer a question? Because I didn't get to
Yeah,
answer.
what question? Yeah, go for it.
So anyway, we're not going to use cars. We're going to use bikes, and so the bikes will be stored inside of, like the bikes are not going to take up any space that is not within our business, and they're going to be required to abide by the. I'm sure there's food delivery on the island, so it would be the same as an Uber Eats or a DoorDash, and in fact better, because I think a lot of those guys are dangerous, in fact. But so that being said, there's also, if you go on the OCM website, there is a state official portal that you can go on and put addresses in, and you can measure the metrics how they measure it. And so believe me, I've gone to great lengths to make sure that we were within the law. And as far as I can see, after many different permutations of this data, we are within the legal distances from the various elements.
All right, thank you. And I will say to the members of the public, it is known that this is sometimes problematic and frustrating about how the actual map works, because it is close to houses of worship, it is close to schools, but because of how the regulations are, especially in a place like Roosevelt Island where you have businesses that are all within one entity, within one envelope, it's going to be difficult. So we hear you that that's where those things are, but the regulations are very tricky around that. Let's go to Amanda Brown.
Good evening. Thank you so much. I'm going to just echo a lot of what's been said here. I don't need to take a lot of time, but I am the co-president of the Parent Teacher Association at the elementary school on Roosevelt Island, and I'm the one that compiled the 7 pages of letters, to which I could add quite a few more that came in after the date that I set. And I want you to know that generally the families in our community are not happy about this possibility. It's not what we need. It will not bring the right sort of service that the community is seeking. As was mentioned, we really do need a doctor's office. We need a co-working space. There are things that would serve us much better. And I want to echo what Susie said, that this is our only path on the island. There's no way to walk your children to school, to music, to dance, to the library, to the youth center without walking past this store. We don't have any other roads. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was an excellent example of what echoing and concise comments can be. And I am going to ask if there's anyone here whose hand is raised who's going to be speaking in favor of the flower shop. Can you please go ahead, chat the CB8 to let them know that that's what you're going to do, so then I can see if that's what's happening. And in the event that everyone else has something negative to say, we can sort of collectively say like, okay, there's this many people who are speaking against it. While you guys make that known to Jordan, let's go to Judith Birdie.
Representative, would you please give me your name again?
Jared Spindell.
Looks very familiar. Have you been on Roosevelt Island before? Have you done business on Roosevelt Island?
No, but I have been. I've been a patron for several years.
Okay, what is your background in cannabis management, sales and cannabis management?
Well, I'm a minority. I'm a social equity. I'm one of the first 400 licensees in New York State because 12 or 13 years ago, I was the victim of the war on drugs, as they say, and since then I am a New York State complying, tax-paying business owner. I work in fashion, design, and music, art, fashion, music. I have an agency that does creative direction for probably a lot of people brands you know about. So my experience is, I'm not like like some petty drug dealer. I'm a citizen that has suffered quite a bit, and also has kind of grown from doing things one way to very much, for me to be at this meeting and to have gotten this license, I have to be compliant. This is a very regulated industry, and so I've really gone through all the steps to make sure that I fit the right parameters. And so I was awarded one of the first 400 licenses in New York. So I have experience from cannabis, but I also have a lot of experience in retail and luxury business.
Well, I must say, after living on this island 48 years, and I run a retail operation here. It's small, but it's mighty. And running a retail operation is much different than running the fashion industry in that. We have a lot of hesitation because there's a lot of illegal marijuana smoking, especially around the site where you want to put your store. In fact,
I won't condone that.
Okay, well, listen, all I can say is the store next door sells flowers, and it would be a shame if they went out and they closed and not sold flowers. Having a flower shop is very nice. As a friend for the cannabis industry is appalling to me. I'm sorry. You want to have, if you're so afraid to show the people what you're really doing, you have to put a flower shop in front of it. It just does not fit with our community. And I think I know over thousands of people who live here who do not want your business on this island. I'm really sorry after knowing everyone, so many people here who've said, no, this is not for our community. So I really think that maybe another location is one right on First Avenue and 58th Street, another cannabis dispensary. It's not that hard to get there, but I suggest that you find another location for your business. Thank you.
I appreciate your comments.
Okay, let's go to Jonathan Cohen.
So thanks for giving me the time. Jared, I just want to say thank you for, wanting to open a business on Roosevelt Island. Our retail is, long vacant, especially in that spot. But I mean, I have to oppose this application. I mean, anybody familiar with Main Street knows this is next door to the library. It primarily serves young children, right? There's baby time, there's story time. They have a children's dedicated room. Next door is the youth center. Across the street is the youth theater. Other people have said this. It's all within about 170 feet if you look on Google Maps. And I just want to ask the board, does this location reflect responsible siting and community planning? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's now go to Rachel Dowling. Rachel, you're going to get a prompt to unmute, and there you go.
There we go. Hi there. I have not put as much thought into this probably as some people, but I actually wanted to come on as a longtime Roosevelt Islander. I've been here on the island for 13 years. I know a lot of these moms that are here at the meeting tonight, not all of them. And I'm also a parent. I am a marathoner and co-founded a running club on the island. My concern that I see going on within the community is a tendency to demonize people that are doing a legitimate, viable business that I think there is actually a need for. That's why these businesses have done well, and there's a reason why pot has been decriminalized. And it has a history. The criminalization of marijuana has its roots in racism. It's very researchable. You can find a lot of information on history.com. There are legitimate medicinal uses for cannabis, and I've had it recommended by my doctor. I think that I totally understand people's concerns about proximity to schools and, influencing kids. But I also think there's a double-edged sword being presented. This guy, by the way, I have no dog in this fight. I'm meeting this owner now for the first time. But I see that, first of all, you led with a very heavy-duty derogatory comment yourself, and you're a board member here supposedly to hear people's opinions, but you laid in with a heavy judgment when you said you found it disgusting. And, I find that really objectionable. I find the pharmaceutical industry quite disgusting, and a lot of things that are sold in over-the-counter stores are not necessarily good for us. I'm not going to say that everything that comes out of a cannabis store is necessarily good for us. There's, liquor is also a huge problem. And many of these people that have such judgment about cannabis probably have no compunctions about drinking in front of their kids or taking their kids with them into the liquor store. And I do know from personal experience, because I've explored some of these spaces, they're very tightly controlled. Children cannot get in, even adults cannot get in without identification. They're often, very supportive of small businesses, the arts. I've seen different things, and I see people of all cross sections of life. People have gone in, people are going in there for sleep assistance, for anxiety, for pain. People have brought up the access to the senior center is a problem. Actually, that's probably a population that would benefit from cannabis use, and some of them may even, and that makes it more accessible. So, I just want to bring that in. I also like to play the devil's advocate, but I also think that this community gets very heavy into policing people and businesses that we really don't have a right to do. If we should give this guy a chance, and I feel like on one level he's being told, that this is too much in people's faces and that people can't, get around it. But then he's also being told that trying to make it more, aesthetically pleasing and less intrusive is somehow sneaky and shifty. So I think that there's a lot of this pre-laid judgment is coming from historic ideas. And the fact is that this legal dispensaries make it safer for people to use safe cannabis that has been grown and produced according to very strict guidelines, and it supports small businesses. I see a lot of women-owned cannabis businesses, so I hope that he, if he did go into business, wherever he goes into business, would support women business owners. I would hope that he would support the arts, but I think that there's a tendency to villainize that needs to be kind of dialed back.
Thank you.
People can walk around, they can go to the other side of the street. We do have beautiful promenades that people can
thank
walk
you, Rachel.
along. So
Thank you
we
very
do have
much.
other options. So I just wanted to bring that out, and I don't see, I don't see, I think that there's probably many people that probably
Rachel.
agree with me that don't feel comfortable speaking, but I'm going to just be that voice of opposition.
Thank you.
All right. Let's
Thank
go
you.
to Paul Marquin.
Hi, good evening. Rachel, you seem like you have your heart in the right place. But I want to echo Judith's. I'm tired. So I'm just gonna keep mine short. I'm not against cannabis in general. I just don't think this is the right location. I hope the board will recommend against this application and encourage use that truly serves the community. Thank you for listening and thank you for everything that you do. CB8, this is my first time here, so have a good night.
Thanks for being here and seeing how it gets made. Let's go to Andre Sporetto.
Thank you very much for the time. I second the opposition for the applicant. However, I do see Rachel's very good arguments. I think generally, though, my appeal to the board is to use their discretion and with the understanding of how unique and complicated the island is, given its parameters and the fact that it doesn't neatly fit into the state's regulation, they use their discretion to oppose it because of the weird setup that we have with the proximity to schools and centers of worship and youth centers and the library.
All right, thank you. If we can keep this up with your guys' like snappy and seconding, that would be wonderful. We can move through everyone. Alexander Dvorak?
Hey, good evening, everyone. So as a Roosevelt Island resident and a father of three, I urge you to reject this dispensary. Even if the site technically meets the distance rules under the New York Cannabis Law 76.3, the spirit of those laws is to keep cannabis stores away from the places where children learn, play, and gather. Our island is small, walkable, and family-centered, as other people have mentioned. And what happens on Main Street touches everyone. Instead of another retail outlet, we need services that truly serve our community, like the medical center that was mentioned, or a family health clinic, or programs that strengthen us. So I just ask you to please vote no and stand with the residents who believe that it should be about health and safety and community first.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Beatrice, early intervention.
Good evening, community board members and fellow Roosevelt Islanders. I will echo the words of us on this issue. Board strongly.
Beatrice, I'm really sorry. We can't hear you. And so I think my best advice would be for you to exit the meeting, re-enter, raise your hand again, and we can go to you. But the audio is not working right now.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to Dan Mead.
Thank you very much for hearing me. I just wanted to second everyone that has opposed this idea. I think as far as cannabis businesses go, it's a very thoughtful model, but I mean, this is obviously a terrible idea. There's a library, multiple schools, a kids dance center, a park, a playground, one road that people can go on. I mean, I just, look, I don't want to be confrontational, but I mean, when I heard this, I honestly thought I must have misheard it. This is as a longtime Roosevelt Island resident, father of two, I really urge the board to please reject this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Marco Marquez.
Yeah, thank you so much. I also want to urge the disapproval from this motion. I second everybody's opinions in terms of the location, the proximity to services for children and the family-oriented community. So I just want to make sure that I raise my voice on behalf of some of my neighbors as well.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Mariana.
Hi everyone, I'm Mariana Raj. Sorry, I was muted. I just want to support everyone who said before that they oppose this. And I'm the mother of a child whose childcare is located 200 feet from this proposed location. And we are not in support of this for all the reasons mentioned above, but also want to draw everyone's attention that as a young family who pays a lot in the fees, such as condo and co-op fees, we contribute to the well-being of the island, and families like us will be drawn away from the island if this business does open. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask once more, if anyone is coming out to speak in support of this business, please let the community board know through the chat. Otherwise, we'll keep moving through. Let's go to Kevin Brown.
Hi, good evening. To keep it short, I
strongly agree with all of the motions to vote against this proposal, and I would urge the board to do so. Thank you very much for having us all on this meeting tonight, and appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out. Let's go to Margie.
Okay, ditto with what everybody said, but I guess my question is more from a business perspective. There are plenty of dispensaries on the east side, which means your market, people are not going to come from Manhattan where they can easily buy some cannabis over to Roosevelt Island. There'd be no reason to. So your market kind of shrinks to the people who are on the island. We know from all of the retail shops that we have on the island now, it's very hard to make a living here. And the people on Roosevelt Island, if they don't want you here, if the bulk of them don't, they don't suffer in silence. There will be all kinds of protests and things. So my question is, from a business perspective, why would you pick Roosevelt Island as opposed to some place where you would be accepted, I guess, more enthusiastically?
Matt, Jordan, we're gonna have to send Jared another thing to unmute. Got it?
It's
Yeah.
not working. Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
The short answer is, I think the way I saw Roosevelt Island as a person that's been coming here for 3 or 4 years, I understand that there's a lot of people that either are neutral or very much against it. And to the woman's point earlier, I was thoughtful to say, look, I'm not trying to hide cannabis. I'm trying to put a buffer between the parts of the community that want nothing to do with it, or are wholly opposed to it or neutral, and also provide a service that does serve more than half of the population in the United States. I would like to point out that there's about 5 million people that don't live on Roosevelt Island that visit the island every year. And I understand the local communities. I'm a local community person, and in every community I've had businesses over the last 20 years. I've always take into consideration everyone's opinions, thoughts, and individual circumstances. And so I feel that if there was a person that would serve the community the right way and do it in a minimally impactful towards the people that don't want it there manner, that would be me. And so I really do appreciate everyone coming out, voicing their opinions. And should I move forward with the location there, I will be a good community member and a good neighbor, and I'll always be willing to speak to anyone that might have something to say.
Okay, for everyone else's hands that are up, you are all speaking against this business, is my understanding, because no one has chatted to the board otherwise. I would like to go and recognize Robin Seligson from the board at this moment.
Thanks, Lindsay. We on Community Board 8 represent the community. We're the voice of the community. And there's no doubt that this has engendered such overwhelming opposition. So I'd like to put forth a motion to disapprove this applicant.
May I ask a question?
Go for it. Robin, he has a question if you'd like to answer it.
I guess, before you vote, I don't, again, I don't know the cross section. So my question would be, let's say there's 100 people that, are coming out and speaking against it. Like I said, I just passed Community Board 1 downtown Manhattan, and 9 members voted for, 1 member voted against. And I shook her hand, and, we exchanged pleasantries, and really, I want to give people their flowers. And the foundation of what Roosevelt Island is, and the history of what New York is, and why I was awarded one of the first 400 licenses, is because there's a lot of wrong that's been done. And I had to pass an enormous amount of compliance to make sure that I was going to be fitting to do a good job representing the legalization of cannabis. I mean, we're talking about a long history of racism, unjust practices, and for me to be in this position, whether you like cannabis or don't like cannabis, I can promise you that I will not be marketing to your children. And then if you're not someone that wants to consume that, see that, or be around it, my buffer, what I'm doing there, because I'm a botanist. I grow plants. I am a plant lover. I'm a nature lover. So my gift to a community of allowing me to, not have to hide in shadows and be persecuted and threatened by a very, very unjust set of rules is here. Let's give you guys something beautiful to look at. And in fact, actually, one of the concerns was the smell, et cetera, et cetera. Now, while all the product does get packaged and sealed prior to arriving to my store, I was going to another length to say, you know what? If people are going to have to walk by or see something that they may or may not like, if they're indifferent or against it, at least they can look at something beautiful. So I appreciate everyone's difference of opinions, and I think it's important for us to be able to exchange these things in a world where it's becoming very divisive. So I would just ask that you consider that I'm not a corporation. I'm not a hedge fund. I'm one person that has suffered for the last 10 years because I was growing a plant that does serve to a lot of people. And I can promise you that I will do it just, and that I will not be one of the many that take it for granted and use it as a tool. It's for me, it's not a recreational thing. It's more than that. But that's a different conversation. I just want to say before you guys vote that I will be a good neighbor, and that whether you agree with me or not, I'm the type of person you can always come to and speak with. And if there's anything I can do to correct or meet people in the middle, whether they're of like mind or not, that's the kind of person that I am.
I appreciate your passion, and I appreciate, it sounds like that you've had a rough go of things, and we don't wish that on anybody. But this just seems to me, based on community comments, that it's the wrong place at the right time, or the wrong time.
How many people commented?
We'll have to put the video on this. We have 7 pages of comments from other people. We have
100 comments.
Sir, I'm actually not sure what the number of comments is. The ratio is what I think we're reflecting in Robin's sort of approach here. But we do have a motion, and I think, is someone seconding that motion, the motion to disapprove? Miles, would someone like to call the question? Okay. So we've got people who are going to call the question. For all the members of the community who are here who have not had their opportunity to speak, I want you to know that everyone here who's still waiting to speak has said that they'll be speaking out against this business. And so that is recorded and noted. We will now take a vote, and this is Judy. You have something? Let's recognize Judy.
Yeah, I have some questions for the gentleman. I'm sorry, I didn't quite get how you're setting up the front of your store. It's a flower store, but where is it going to say on the front that you're selling cannabis? How are people going to know that there's something going on behind the scene?
Is that the end of the question?
Well, I have other comments, but that's the first question.
Okay, let's do one at a time if that's okay with you. So the front of the store, if you look at the mock-up, is going to be like living walls. So it's just plants, and you can't see into the dispensary, which is part of the. But I'm going one step further, which is it's actually more uncommon in New York. But in other states, you go into a separate waiting room, like a doctor's office, if you will.
No, stop, please. On the front of your store.
Yes.
Is there anything that's going to say that you're selling anything besides flowers?
It has, yes, there will be all the state regulated information on the front saying, 21 and over, but discreetly so that it's not in your face.
Okay,
yes,
but
yes.
you
Absolutely.
didn't mention that, so I was
I
confused.
apologize.
Yeah, I think the choice of location is bad to open a flower store right next to a flower store. That does not sit well to me when you have a lot of places on the island on Main Street that you could have picked. I do want to say I'm one of those people that's a cannabis supporter. I had an aunt that was very ill, and it was the only thing that made the end of her life worth living at all. It can be very good for people who are ill, but I think in this particular location, I have to agree with Robin and say that I don't think this is the right location for this store. There may be someplace else on the island where it might be suitable, but certainly not in this location to open a flower store next to a flower store on Roosevelt Island. You don't have a lot of anything on Roosevelt Island. You have one of everything. And I think that's wrong. So I would go along with my fellow board members and not approve this. Also, I do agree with all the people who've turned out to give us their opinion, which we don't often get either in writing or in person on issues coming before the community board. And when that happens, I think it's up to the board members to listen to the community. That's all I have to say.
I appreciate your comments. Thank you.
All right. So we are at a place where I believe Marco is calling the question, or he's calling the question. So this is a motion to disapprove. We have, at my count, 7 members still in the meeting. If there is anyone who is going to be voting to approve or voting to abstain, please let me know. Otherwise, this will go down as a 7-0. Let's recognize Judy.
Am I able to,
No, we're not in a talking point right now. Judy.
You want to recognize Judy? She didn't have her hand raised.
Yeah.
Oh, she's raising her. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we want to put any whereases in this resolution?
Right now, as it is, it's whereas the member of the public objected based on location and proximity to schools, houses of worship, delivery bike concerns, and then there's also recognition that there was one person who came out in support. Is there another whereas that you think?
Yeah, well, I think that we should put a whereas in there, and that they're putting a flower store in front right next to a flower store on the island.
that's a bodega, by the way.
Yeah, I don't actually know that that's an accurate piece because
okay,
yeah,
well,
that was something that someone said. I'm not sure that that's actually the reality of on the ground.
Oh, okay.
It might be a bodega that sells flowers instead of like a flower business.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's a bodega that has some flowers.
Yeah.
From everything that I heard people testify, it sounded like it was a flower store. So I withdraw that suggestion.
Striking that. Okay. So this is a vote to disapprove. This is the calling of the question. If anyone from the board is voting against this or abstaining, please let me know. Otherwise, this is going to go down as a 7-0 disapproval. And Jared, you will have the opportunity to come to the full board meeting if you like. This committee has a non-binding recommendation that goes to the full board, and that vote will happen on Wednesday of next week, where everyone in the board will vote, and that will be the final vote that happens.
Is that in person?
Yes.
No.
Well, it's hybrid, actually. It's hybrid. You can Zoom in.
Okay. So what I would appreciate is if you could send me that information. Do I reach out to Jordan?
Yeah, Jordan's the
contact.
contact.
I can send you the details on the full board meeting next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is gone down as a unanimous disapproval. Members of the public, you are also welcome to come to the full board meeting if you would like, which is happening next Wednesday. You can go to Community Board 8's website. this is the end of this business. So now we'll be moving on to, we have no old business. I don't believe anyone submitted any new business for the board. And then we have 4 businesses that are laying over. So I'd
Thank
be,
you.
thank you. I'd be willing to entertain a motion. Miles, you have your hand? Let's recognize Miles.
I'll say motion to adjourn.
Okay, it looks like there's seconds for that. Before we do adjourn, I do want to thank everyone from the community who came out. I know that it's hard to take your time to come out and see these things. I hope you got results that are aligned with your wishes based on what we heard here. And the full board will be happening next week if you wish to come to that. Thank
And
you.
I'm going to post in the chat a link to our website with details on the full board meeting next week. So you know the address and time and how to join from Zoom.
All right. Thank you so much, Jordan. Thanks everyone for getting through this long night. Adios. See you next week.
Have a good night, everyone.